Yeah, live.
Yeah.
You see my text?
No.
I knew this on live.
Okay.
Live. You can text me back. Oh, sorry.
Hello, good evening. Just a quick little dosage count session. Hello, 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 everybody. I hope everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I am Nurse C, a blessed RN, your friendly neighborhood dosage calculations tutor, and I just came on to do a couple questions with y'all tonight. So as you come in the room, go ahead, if you are on TikTok, double tap for me and let me know what program you're in. LPN, RN, BSN, Bridge, Accelerated, whatever it is that you got going on. Let me know in the chat. And if you are on YouTube, hello. Let me know what program you are in as well. We're going to start off with symmetric conversions and add a little fractions in there because everybody likes fractions. LPN accelerated. Okay, I see you. Big up, sales accelerated program participants. They go really fast. So I don't think I can do it that fast. Alrighty. So let's get started. As more people come in, we'll do some more. All right. So the first thing is first with metric or dosage calculations, the point is you got to know your metric conversions. There's no way to get around it. Okay. So you must know your metric conversions. The way that I do dimensional analysis is we use puzzle pieces, which involves the relations of things. So your conversions, things that are together that are in the problem, like milliliter per hour or microgram per kilogram per minute. So you have to know your conversions. Going into school, if you're about to start, I would implore you right now, you had your break, you had your eggnog, you had whatever. Now let's get to these conversions because that is what's going to help you so very much with dosage calculations. A lot of people jump in and they try to figure out the mathy part of it, but you'll come to see that dosage calculations heavily relies on your metric conversions. So this problem right here involves going from cups to milliliters. So the first thing that I do when I look at a problem is I find the goal. What is this question asking for me to solve? Okay. Oh, Sophia, you passed your dosage count. Congratulations. Yes. I love it. I love it. You need to pass Mother Baby. Oh man, Mother Baby was tough. Um, yeah, that's right up there with mental health for me. I don't know what I did, but I don't know why that was clicked on there. I'm on Restream right now, so the live stream that you do see that's on TikTok is going to be available for viewing on my YouTube page or channel. So a blessed RN, that's where all the replays are. That's where all the problems are broken down. If you're looking for individual individually work problems and the replays from like all the way from like past last year. Okay. That's where you find it. A blessed RN. Thank you. Is there a list of conversions? Yeah. Nah, yeah, I gotta find it, but I got them. You know, I got them. Okay. So this one is going from cups to milliliters. So I need to find milliliters. That is my goal. That's what I want my equation to look like once I get done setting it up. Okay. So therefore, I will be looking for milliliters. So I know that I've already got my 2 2/3 cups. So that's going to be a puzzle piece all in itself. But can't put 2 2/3 into your equation. It's got to be a mixed fraction, right? Or an improper fraction because you have a mixed fraction. So in order to change this mixed fraction to an improper fraction, we're going to have to take the big number, which is the whole number, and you multiply it times the denominator. So 2 times 3 equals 6. And then we add the numerator, so that number at the top, to this. So that's 8. And then we just put it over the denominator. So that's how you convert your fraction. Okay. So our new cups is going to be 8/3 cups. Okay. So I'm going to put this over here in my puzzle piece stack. And then I need to know the conversion from milliliters to cups, right? So I know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. And then I know that 1 ounce is 30 mLs. If you see that 8 times 30 is 240, you could do a direct conversion from 1 cup equals milliliter. But I'm going to show you both ways because a lot of people don't remember that 1 cup is 240 mLs. They know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. Okay. So either way, it'll work. So what we're looking for is milliliter. I don't know why that L looks a little funky. I don't like that. Boop. Boop, boop. All right, there we go. So if I'm looking for milliliter, what I'm going to do is I start with what it is that I'm looking for. I always start with what I'm looking for. That's how I always start my dimensional analysis equations. Start with what you are looking for. I know I said about 3 or 4 times now because I meant it. Okay. So if I'm looking for milliliters, my puzzle piece that has milliliters in it, that's what's going to be first. I'm going to put the milliliters on the top because I need everything else that's after it to cancel out because I'm only looking for milliliters. Okay. So 30 milliliters is 1 ounce. Okay. So now what I can do is put another puzzle piece so that my ounces cancel out. So this right here has ounces in it. So I'm going to flip it. Boom. And I'm going to put my 8 ounces on the top and my 1 cup on the bottom. Well, how can you do that? How are you able to flip these puzzle pieces just any type of way? All right. So these things equal each other, right? They're together. They're in a relationship. So they're a puzzle piece. So they go on one puzzle piece. In real life, you have a puzzle and you manipulate and reposition your puzzle pieces so that they fit, right? Just because the position of that puzzle piece changes does not mean that the integrity or the shape of the puzzle piece changes, right? It's still that puzzle piece. So 8 ounces still equals 1 cup, whether it's 1 cup on the top and 8 ounces on the bottom, okay? So now I need to cancel out my cups. So you see how we did our improper fraction here? We had 8 on the top in the numerator and 3 on the bottom in the denominator. So 8/3 cups. So now cups cross out and you're only left with milliliter, which is what the goal tells us to find. Okay. So now you just multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, divide the top by the bottom, and that's your answer. So 30 times 8 times 8 equals what? That number right there, and divided by 3. So this will be 640 milliliters. Kind of straightforward, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Thank you for the heart, well, the little team heart thingy. I don't know what it's called. All right. So let's do some more. It's like I said, it is so very, very important that we know are metric conversions. So the microgram, milligram, and kilogram and gram type spiel. Let me show you something before we do this problem, okay? Shaniqua, I heart you too. How are you? I hope you had a good holiday. So let's look at this. So you have your gram, your milligram, your microgram, right? And then we know that this big kahuna, the kilogram, is right over there. So this is your base unit, and it's going to equal 1. Okay. So this could either be a meter, a liter, liter, unit. I don't know. It's late on Thursday after Christmas. I'm tired. Y'all had a good Christmas. If you had kids, then I mean, Christmas is just, huh. All right. But anywho, so that could be a meter, liter, unit, whatever. Okay. It's 1. So if you had, let's put it into perspective, right? Since we're in the holiday season, you had one cookie. Okay. You had a cookie and you broke it down into pieces, so crumbs. It would take 1,000 of these crumbs, which are milligrams, to come together to make one big cookie. Okay, now stay with me. If you took one of these and you broke it down even further, so you got a little crumb and you just smushed it, right? That's little residue pieces, right? So that's the micro, little small little pieces. That's 1,000. So 1,000 micrograms equals 1 milligram. 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. All right. So now we're back at a cookie, right? So if you went to Costco or Sam's and you got a big thing of cookies, like you was really in the holiday spirit, right? One big container of mini cookies would be 1,000, right? So to have 1,000 cookies in that one big container. So you see how the units go from size to size and from proportion to proportion, if you will. Okay. So one, and 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. They're all separated by the factor of 1,000. So Naya, this is one of the ones that you really, really need to know for school. Now, some people like to move their decimal to the left, boop, boop, to the right, and all that jazz. If you use dimensional analysis, you don't have to worry about moving decimals left and right. If you set it up right, then it will do the work for you. I'm good trying to make sure I get these down before Med Surge. Okay, Med Surge. You had a good Christmas future RN mail. Awesome. Are there certain dose questions needed for RN HESI exit, like 3-dimensional? Kristen Horn, I think it's like a combination of all of the things, honestly. If anybody has taken RN HESI exit, let us know what to look out for in the comments. All right. So this is one of the important things that you need to know. All right. So on this one, what's our goal? It's gram, right? Okay. So if I'm looking for a gram, that's what I want to start with. So my puzzle piece is 1,567,896 micrograms. All right. I know that I can't go from a little small, tiny residue piece to one big cookie, right? It's got to be those 1,000. So I know that 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. And then I know that 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So you see how that worked with the cookie analogy, if you will. Okay. So if I'm looking for gram, I'm going to start with the gram, right? It's going to be first and it's going to be on top. So that's how I know what to start every equation with. I start with what this right here tells me to look for. So 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So now everything else that comes behind it has to be canceled out. You cancel out your units by putting what's on the bottom, on the top, and you cancel it out. Okay. So we'll do 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. Boom, boom. And then we have, so we use this and we use this. Now we have a microgram puzzle piece. So we can put it on the top so our micrograms can cross out. Okay. So 1 million, all that big long number, right? And you see how I just put this over 1? That is just by itself. It doesn't equal anything. So when you see things that is by itself in these equations or these problems, they don't always have to equal to something. Like the patient's weight, for instance. If it's by itself, it's a weight. A weight doesn't equal 270 pounds doesn't equal 1 day. It just is pounds, or you can convert it to kgs. So you don't have to put anything with something necessarily, but the things that are together stay together. So now you see that everything has crossed out except for what we're looking for. So now we can do the math. So I'll do 1,567,896 divided by 1,000 divided by 1,000, which will be 1.56, all that. It just depends on what you want to round to or what they tell you to round to, grams. Okay? Exactly. I see you moving that decimal along, moving it. Y'all, let me know if you're just coming in, what program you're in. RN, LPN, BSN, Accelerated, what you got going. Make sure that you are following me on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, please. That's where the lives will most likely have to be if TikTok shuts down after the 19th. So I am streaming live right now on YouTube. Hey, YouTubers. And for TikTokers, yeah, y'all know where to go. So we won't lose touch. Because I know everybody's starting soon. A lot of people say they start on the 6th. Some people start on the 13th. So starting with the metric conversions, getting everybody reacquainted, getting our feet wet, wetting our whistle, whatever you want to talk about, because you know the metric conversions is the sauce, okay? All right, I got 2 BSNers on my YouTube. Got some LPNs accelerated, okay? As of April. You're welcome, Miss True. You're absolutely welcome, y'all. So the live sessions that I do, because this is just kind of like a little quick one, because I haven't been on all week. It's been crazy here. The live sessions that I do, live breakdown, will be resuming on Sunday, and I have a big announcement, so you might want to be there. Okay, yeah, so Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time. All right, so you ever had a question that was a pediatric problem and they gave you a baby and the baby weighed 20 pounds and such ounces and you had to find kilograms? Well, how in the heck you do that? All right, so this is another one. Who was that asking about it? Naya. So 1 pound equals, 1 kg equals 2.2. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Equals 2.2 pounds. And then we also know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Okay. So those two conversions you must know as well. So on this one, we need to convert everything to pounds because there's not a conversion from ounces and pounds to kgs. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll take care of those ounces. Excuse me. We'll take care of those ounces first, and then we'll add it to the pounds that we already have, and then we'll convert it to kilograms. Did I pass the NCLEX first try off a topic, but laugh out loud? Yes, I did. I passed my NCLEX on my first try for my LPN and my RN. And I think I had I took it during COVID for my RN. So it was like, how many questions? 70 or 80? I don't know. They reduced them out. And I got low number 2 on the LPN. So yeah, many moons ago. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to turn it to pounds, right? So our goal will be pounds. So we have 5 ounces and we know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. All right, so if I'm looking for pounds, my pounds go on the top. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. And then I have my 5 ounces on the top and it'll cross out. And so we'll do 5 over 16 equals 0.3125, right? So this is pounds. So now we combine like terms. So we have 20 pounds right here. So we just add our 20 pounds so that we'll get the new pounds, right? So it's going to be 20.3125. So now that we have our pounds, we can go to kgs, so kilograms, okay? So we know that 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. And then we have our 20.3125 pounds that we just figured out. And pounds crosses out, and that'll give you your kilograms. So it'll be 9.23. All right, let's practice rounding. If this asks us to round to the nearest tenths place, what would our answer be? Okay. If we're rounding to the nearest tenths place, whoa, buddy. We start at the tenths place, right? Hey, Barbie, I see you. And you go to its neighbor, right? And so that is 3. So if it's 4 or below, it's a no-go. If it's 5 or more, then you raise the score. So this is a 3. So of course, everything else besides the place that you round is gone. So it'll be 9.2 kgs. All right, and remember, no trailing zeros, because it can be mistaken for like 920 versus 9.2. Okie dokie. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, we did one of these. I want to go to another one. We did one of those too. This is BSA. Let's do grains and milligrams. Now, grains is apothecary. There's not too many medicines that I've seen in the hospital setting that you use grains with. But if they want to throw that at you in your program, then we'll be able to take care of it. Okay. So, grain, 1 grain equals 60 milligrams. So, the way that you remember your grains would be a clock. Okay. So, you got your 12, 3, 6, and your 9. So 1 grain is 60 milligrams. Okay. So if you went to the 3, right, that's a quarter past. So 1/4 of a grain equals 15 milligrams. See what we're doing? Now you go to the 6, that's half past the hour, right? So 1/2 grain is 30 milligrams. If we did 3/4, it's going to be 45 milligrams. And then you go right back up to the 12, and that is 60 milligrams is 1 whole grain. Okay. So that's how you remember your grains. Not sure if you'll have to use grains in school or if they'll test you on it, but now you know, think about it like a clock. All right. So if our goal is milligrams, we know we have 2/3 grain. Well, that's not on the clock, but that's okay. It should be in a textbook. But yes, so 2/3 grains, right, equals what, milligrams? So we know that 1 grain equals 60 milligrams. So if I'm looking for milligrams, that's what I'm going to start with, right? So 60 milligrams is 1 grain. All right, we got grains at the bottom, so we need grains at the top. So we'll do our 2/3 grains, and you see the grains crosses out. And so you just do 60 times 2, which is 120. 1 times 3 is 3. So what's that? 40 milligrams. That's how you do it. And I don't want y'all to be scared of fractions either. We're not going to be scared of something that's not even whole. That's a whole word. That's a whole word for you. Okay. So if you have fractions and you use a dimensional, you just keep the numerator in the numerator, the denominator in the denominator, and you just do the math. Okay. That's another grain. All right. What else y'all want to study or have questions about tonight? That's BSA. Any questions? Now, if you're starting, well, I'm just thinking about it and waiting for your output. I think there's a lag. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Do we have to remember all of the conversions from the top of our heads? Yes. And I mean, okay, so this is how I would suggest. I have a video on this on my channel as well. But this is how I would suggest you learn your conversions. Break it up into pieces. So when you start school and you go in and they give you your packets and your syllabus and all that stuff, and it's like just all together. Don't try to do that because that's going to be overwhelming. We can digest smaller bites and pieces versus just a whole heap of food, right? So just like we did the grams, well, buddy, the milligrams and the micrograms, the kilograms, and how they were 1, which is 1,000 of those, 1, which is 1,000 of those, and 1, which is 1,000 of these. Break it up into pieces like that, okay? And then what else we need to know? Let's do your household, like your teaspoons, your tablespoons, and your ounces, all right? So teaspoon, tablespoon, ounce. So 1, 1, 1. All of these equal a certain, quit trying to solve my math. All right. All of these equal a certain amount of milliliters, right? So look, 5, 15, 30. Okay. See, I'm doing this off the top of my head. Yes, I am a tutor, but still, you can do it too. Do I only do math? Yeah, that's my baby. Dosage calculations is my baby. All right. So you see 1 teaspoon equals equals 5 milliliters, 1 tablespoon equals 15, and then 1 ounce equals 30. So 5, 15, 30. Then you can do a countdown too. So you got 1 teaspoon, which is 5. So you times that by 3, then you get 1 tablespoon. Then you have 1 tablespoon is 15 mLs. So you times that by 2, and then you get 1 ounce. So 3, 2, 1, blast off. Kind of find stuff that relates to other things. That's how my brain works. Okay. Especially like with pharmacology and dosage calculations, in med surg, all of it, I don't know. And I think that's how nurse might brain work too, because I still remember magnum magnesium from simple nursing. Okay. So, yeah, what else we need? We need to know that 1 foot equals 12 inches, and then 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. This is important for your BSA, so your body surface area problems. So like I said, just take it piece by piece. How many days y'all got? 13? I don't know. I don't count down. However many days you got to school, just look at this. I'm like, okay, 5, 15, 30. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. What else am I thinking about? the pounds and the kgs and the ounces, right? So you know that 1 kg equals 2.2 pounds. And when I think about kg, I think about like the big kahuna. So you're like the one always goes by the biggest number, okay? Or the biggest unit of measure. So if you ever like, well, where does the one go by? The one goes by the big cookie or the big container or whatever. So that's kind of like a way that I don't know, my brain works. All right. So 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. Then we know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So that's what you need as well. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing stuff. I mean, these are really all that you need. Yeah. Can I do reconstitution? Sure, I can do reconstitution. I share my screen like this on Restream for right now. I used to use YouTube Live Studio, but I didn't know how long they were going to be here. So I had to find another solution, and they have an integration. So this is what we're using. And some reconstitution solution with IV bags that is 10% or more of the total IV solution. Christina, you got a practice question? I hear pharmacology and med surge will be insane, and I'm scared. All nursing school is insane. So, I mean, no fear, no tears. Just do it, okay? Um, what about IVs? Okay, we can do some IVs. Would I suggest flashcards? Make your own. You can put these on. You can put these on flashcards. I have conversion sheets like that's grouped together like this on my website, a blessed RN, well, abrntutoring.com. So if you want to take a look at those, you can print it out. Yeah. Oh, and drops. You need help with some of these. All right, so let's see what else we can pull out then. All right, so the point that I'm trying to make, I'm trying to drive home. You have to know your conversions. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's see. You said some drops and some IVs. Let's see. IV. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That's runtime. I think this is important to see. All right, let's do it. Would you consider doing a nursing guidebook? Funny you should say that, Jamie. Funny you should say that. Come Sunday, we'll talk about it. All right. So listen, you're welcome, Naya. All right. So listen, with IVs, okay, IVs are trying to see the rate, okay? And hey, Kevin, go ahead and pin yourself, my guy. You know what to do. So IVs are trying to see how much volume of medicine or solution has to go in over a certain amount of time, okay? So you'll be looking for two things if it's not a weight-based IV, okay? Volume of infusion and the infusion time. If you see something that says every in front of it, that means that it's the frequency. Frequency is how often you give a dose. Is this asking how often do you need to give this IV? No, it wants to know how fast it has to go into the patient's veins. So you are looking for to be given in, to give over, to be infused in. Those are the words or phrases that you're looking for when it comes to the time, okay? So let's look at what we got. A nurse without an E is preparing to administer ceftazidime 2 grams IV piggyback every 12 hours. Available is ceftazidime 2 grams in 0.9% normal saline, 100 milliliters to be infused over 30 minutes. The nurse should set the IV pump to deliver how many milliliters per hour, and you round to the nearest whole number. Okay. Don't forget to round. If it tells you to round, you round, and always label your answer too, because I don't want to see y'all do the math. You finally get these puzzle pieces together, you rocking it, and you don't get the credit because you didn't round or you didn't label. Okay. All right. So our goal because that's the first thing we do after we read the question. You see what the question is. What is the question asking me to solve for? All right. So the goal is milliliter per hour. Okay. So I know I'll need milliliter at the top and I'll need hour at the bottom. Okay. So what is my volume that needs to be infused? How many milliliters am I going to infuse? Y'all let me know in the comments. What's our volume? Okay. So it tells us that this medicine is floating around in 100 milliliters of normal saline. So that is volume. Okay. That's what you need, 100 milliliters. Okay. So then what is your time? How long do they want this to be infused in? How long do they want it to take? Are they asking you how many times a day they want to give it? No. So remember, you don't use what is after every, right? So boom, that's fluff. Okay. It tells us to be infused over 30 minutes. It literally tells you to put it over 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to keep it over 30 minutes. All right. So I got the top part. My units are milliliters. Boom. But the bottom has to be in hours and I have minutes. So I need to do my hour to minute conversion. Okay. So I know that 60 minutes equal 1 hour. So I cross my minutes out and now I have milliliter per hour. So you see, I'm just putting the puzzle pieces together. I'm just putting units in the place that the goal tells me to put it. That's it. So I know probably some of you might have gotten a little thrown off by that 2 grams in there, right? So remember, I told you this goal is going to be your best friend. It's going to help you set up your problem. It's going to help you pick out your pieces. Okay. Was the question asking for us to solve for micrograms or grams or milligrams? Grams? No. It said volume. Grams, that is the measure for mass, right? So what's happening here is that ceftazidime 2 grams is ordered, and that ceftazidime 2 grams is floating around in the solvent, which is the normal saline. Okay. So when you have 2 grams floating around in that 100 milligrams, if you give all of that 100 milligrams, those 2 grams are going to go into the vein, right? Because you can't give anything that's whole in the in IV, right? Because it'll clot and you'll kill your patient and then you go to jail. So we're not going to go to jail. So therefore, we don't need this. It is fluff. That's why I said volume over time. And do I convert my time before I set my equations up? No. I let my equation do all of the work. I'll put in conversions left and right because it'll kind of safe proof the process. So you see that everything that is on the top and bottom cancel out so you can't miss it, and you can't put information that doesn't need to be there in there, and you won't mess up on the calculations. Because what if you multiply whatever times 30 or you didn't convert it right? Okay, sometimes you have an off day, but I know that when I do 60 minutes over 30, I'm going to get the correct time. It's going to be 0.5. So the math is going to math inside the equation. So yeah, 100 times 60 divided by 30, it's going to be 200 mLs per hour. And that's our answer. I started in January and I just came across this live and I'm scared. Okay, Maya, Angelique, don't be scared of math. It's going to be okay. And congratulations on everybody who's starting. Y'all should be very proud of yourself. Starting this nursing journey, nursing school is not easy, but it's doable. It's a challenge, but you can do it. Many have gone before you. Many will go after you. You're dealing with a live patient. So it's going to be hard. If nursing was easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be doing it well. Okay. So math does not need to be your downfall because as you see, I just did one little set of math at the end. I set up an equation and I'm just putting together puzzle pieces. And this is called dimensional analysis. Am I coming back on tomorrow? Chantel, I will be on Sunday for sure, 8 p.m. Central Time. I hadn't been on this week, and I've been kind of giving y'all little bits and pieces here and there because I've been working on some stuff, and I still got some work to do after I get off in a few minutes. But yes, definitely, you want to be here Sunday. Okay. All right. Let's do another one. Okay, so look at this. IV is hard. It don't have to be. Let's put together these puzzle pieces, okay? I get off at 7:30. You'll be here. Okay, I see you then, friend. All right, so listen. The Zyvox 600 milligrams IV once a day is ordered for patient. The Zyvox is dissolved in 350 mLs of normal saline and should infuse over 1 hour. Using a tubing with a drop factor of 20 drops per milliliter, how many drops per minute should the Zyvox be infused? Okay, so y'all let me know, what is the goal? What is the question asking for us to solve? What's our goal? Y'all let me know in the comments. Yes, y'all got this semester. All right, so drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. And remember, this is our friend. Okay, this is our goal. This is what we're going to use, right? So remember when I said that we're looking for volume over time. Okay, so we're looking for volume and time. Are we looking for milligram, gram, microgram? Fluff. Okay, it says that that medicine is in 350 mLs of normal saline. So that is your volume. And it is to infuse over 1 hour. That is your time. And then it says we're giving this with a tubing that has a calibration of 20 drops per milliliter. So this one is not going to be on an infusion pump. This one is going to be given by gravity. So it's going to drip, 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 drip in the chamber, and you count the drops per minute. Okay, that's all a drop factor is how many drops will give a milliliter of solution or medicine. Okay, so now we got our puzzle pieces and we got rid of the fluff. So we're looking for drops. We're going to start with drops. 20 drops over ml. Okay, boom. So now I have milliliter at the bottom. It's not part of the goal because I already start with what I'm looking for, so I don't have to go and find it, right? So I'm just trying to work my way to minute. So I got milliliter at the bottom. So I'll put my milliliters at the top, 350 ml over 1 hour. And you see how I'm keeping everything together? That's together, okay? And I'm just simply repositioning them if I need to. So milliliters is gone. So now I have to get rid of hour because I'm looking for minutes at the bottom. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. And now I have my goal. Drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. And that's it. Now you can do some math. Okay. So we'll do 20 times 350 divided by 60. And it's going to be 116.66666, right? So 20 times 350 divided by 60. I always be kind of, yeah. All right, so we're gonna have to round this to the whole number because usually with your drops per minute, they want you to round to a whole number because you can't divide a drop. You don't walk into the kitchen and see 2/3 of a drop. You just see a drop or not, right? So if we rounded this to the whole number, what would our answer be? What would our answer be? Okay, you got it. 117 drops per minute. So that's how you do that. So you see how we take what's in the question, what the goal tells us, put it together in a puzzle, and then just do the math. You see, I'm not doing any type of steps and converting and this and all that and the third. So if you're not good at math, using dimensional analysis is for you. Now I'm gonna be transparent, and I'm gonna tell you that I didn't like this way in school. I did not like it. Did not like it. It was confusing. It just seemed all kind of crazy to me. I didn't get it. It was just there. But it really is a safe proof way to do your dosage calculations. All you have to do is know your conversions and what the goal is. So the goal is what the question is asking you. That's what you have to answer anyway. So use it. Get your puzzle pieces and get it together. Who text me? Let me know. All right, boom. So, drug B, 1.5 grams is ordered IVPB. IVPB just simply means IV piggyback. So, it's a secondary line. It's not your primary solution that's infusing. It's going to hang higher, it's going to go in, and then the primary is going to start back. That's all that is. Don't get caught up by the big words, okay? Big word this, big word that. Nursing has a lot of big words, but hey, don't be intimidated by it. All right. So in 500 mLs, so Q means every 8 hours over 4 hours. The IV tubing has a drop factor of 15 drops per milliliter. What will the nurse say is the rate in drops per minute? Okay. So what is our goal? What are we looking for? Okay. Hey, Carrie. Hope you had a good Christmas. All right. So we're looking for drops per minute again. So what are our puzzle pieces? Remember, we need volume over time. Is this asking about grams, mics, milligrams? Mm-mm. Fluff. So our volume is going to be 500. And what is our time going to be? Is it going to be this one? No, because it got every in front of it. It literally tells you to put it over 4 hours. Okay. And then your drop factor is 15 drops per ml. Okay. So now we're going to start with what it is that we're looking for. 15 drops over ml. Drops is already on the top. Boom. So now everything else has to cancel out except for minutes on the bottom. So I use that. So I'll do 500 ml over 4 hours. Boom. Milliliters crosses out. Now I have hours at the bottom. I need minutes. So I know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So you see, it's just everything that is together or that equals each other. You line them up and cancel out your units, putting it together like a puzzle, and you get your answer. So 15 drops on the top, 60 minutes on the bottom. Now I can do my math. So we'll do 15 times 500 divided by 4 divided by 60 equals 31.25. All right. She said, I did. I slept. Man, I wish I could sleep. I still need some sleep. I'm so exhausted. My house is tore up. There are toys everywhere in boxes. And yeah, like for Christmas to be on a Wednesday and then you have to like work the next day, it was just crazy. But we had a good time with family, good food, good time, good fellowship, and celebrating the reason for Christ coming to save us. So it was good, but I am tired. I'm tired. All right. So if we round this to the whole number, what will our answer be? What will our answer be? 31. And make sure you label it. Drops per minute. Somebody said reconstitution. Reconstitution to defeat the Huns. I know that's not the words. All right, let's see. What's this one? Ooh. All right. So reconstitution, another big word for add water or liquid to a powder and make it a liquid so that you can give it to your patient. Okay. So reconstitution, you have to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to concentrate on the concentration. Okay. It doesn't matter how many milligrams, grams are in the vial, how much solvent you're supposed to add at this time, how many shakes that you're supposed to do on the right, shakes that you're supposed to do on the left. Don't matter. We want to know the concentration of the medicine after you have reconstituted it. Okay? All right. Holly, I'm glad you came too. You're welcome. All right. So let's look at it. The physician prescribes drug M 40 milligrams IM. The vial of powder states add 8 mLs of bacteriostatic water for injection to the 500 milligram vial to make a concentration of 125 milligrams per 2 ml. How many milliliters equal the ordered dose? Okay, so first things first, we're not going to deter and move away from the process. We're going to figure out what the goal is, right? Goal is how many milliliters per dose. Okay, so milliliters per dose. Okay, so what's ordered is 40 milligrams is one dose. All right, so we need to figure out what to weed out. What is the concentration of the medicine after you reconstituted it? It says concentration is that. So this is fluff. That is also fluff. We only need the concentration of the medicine. How many milligrams per milliliter? How many grams per milliliter? How many milliequivalents? How many units per milliliters? Okay. How many floated medicine solute pieces are in the solvent? Okay. That's it. Don't get thrown off by all that other stuff because you can't stand in nurse seat and tell you to concentrate on the concentration. Okay, that's all you need. And if they have a problem where they tell you it's this many milligrams of medicine versus in this many milliliters of medicine, that's your concentration. Don't get caught up in all the extra stuff. Okay, it's fluff. All right, so if I'm looking for milliliter, I start with my milliliters. 2 ml is 125 mgs. Okay. So I got milligram on the bottom. So I need milligram on the top. So 40 milligrams per dose. Okay. Cross it out. And then we do the math. So it's going to be 2 times 40 divided by 125. 2 times 40 divided by 125. And it'll be 0.64 milliliters per dose. And if this asks us to round to the nearest tenth place, what would our answer be? IM means intramuscular. So that's the route. So a part of a complete order has to tell you the name of the drug, the strength of one dose, unless it's indicated otherwise, the route, and the frequency. And then a complete order will tell you the duration, which is how long they want them to receive that therapy. Okie dokie. All righty, 0.6 would be our final answer if it asks us to round. Christmas should always be on a Saturday. Heck yeah. what else y'all got for me? I give you 10 minutes. We did IV flow rate. We did some IV drip rates. Of course, we always start with metric conversions. Y'all, please tell your friends and your cohorts and your nursing besties and whoever, whatever. Learn your metric conversion because you know everybody is about to start school and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, those calculations. You can be like, well, this led on TikTok and YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram told me to learn my conversions and we're going to put it together like puzzle pieces. So you can worry about something else. You are truly a blessing. Thank you. Learn the metric conversions. And if y'all are not following Nurse Kevin, he is the boot nurse on all social media platforms. He will help you break down your nursing style questions. He's an NCLEX strategist. So he's going to help you at the end when you're trying to pass your NCLEX to get that license. But while you're in school, attend the lives because he does nursing questions and he breaks them down and show you how to do the rationale and what to look for. Because it's not enough to know material or content in school, you got to know how to apply it and how to answer the question. It's just like when we find the goal here, you got to see what the question is asking you. And yeah, he is awesome sauce, very encouraging, awesome internet mentor, big brother, nurse. I don't know what you want to call him. On break from an S, and this popping up on my FYP is a sign to keep studying. Yes, definitely take your break. I know everybody took a break. I took a break for Christmas. Yeah. My name on YouTube is the same name on here, a blessed RN. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. All of my resources are in the link in my bio. What advice would you give to a second year nursing major student in A&P? Khan Academy was a good resource on YouTube for anatomy and physiology. Um, I like I said, my brain works differently. I don't know, it's a scary place, but try to relate things and group them together instead of individually learning things. That's what's going to help you a lot as well. His name, he's right there. Kevin, go ahead and pin yourself. Okay, he pinned himself. He said, I like to mentor. Yeah. Um, I think they have like a coloring book now that you can use for anatomy and physiology. What about med surge? Oh, med surge, med surge, med surge, med surge. That's going to be your basis, okay? That's going to be your basis for everything nursing. That's going to be what the body does, what's going wrong with it. Cause so you need to know your normals, you need to know your abnormals, okay? If you want to really break it down, everything is basically going to be about oxygenation, fluid and electrolytes, and keeping your body working. Okay. So, heart, lung, and kidneys. Those are the main three players. And then everything else supports it. Of course, we know we need the brain. Of course, we know. But what's going to keep oxygen to the brain? The blood, the lungs. And what pumps it? The heart. What regulates the heart? The kidneys. So you're going into mid surge, I would suggest that you learn your fluids and your electrolytes. So knowing about where does the water shift to, if there's a higher concentration or a lower concentration, learning those electrolytes and their values, especially potassium. Potassium is a big player because you know that's what the heart, if your potassium is too low or too high, you can cause dysrhythmias, right? So your calcium, your chloride, your magnesium, learn all of those levels. Your labs as well, your BUN, your creatinine for your kidneys, your ALT, AST for your liver enzymes. You need to know your CO2, your bicarb, and your pH for your ADGs. So all of that matters, okay? Khan Academy is all I use for A&P 1 and 2. Okay. Yeah, I like Khan Academy. You said me trying to remember everybody's name. He tagged himself on my TikTok, y'all. So if you're on YouTube right now, you're like, what are you talking about? I'm seeing the comments on my TikTok also. Um, do 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 do. The coloring book is very helpful. Cool. So med surge is basically the anatomy. No, it's the pathophysiology. So you're gonna need anatomy and physiology in med surge. So you need to know what the heart does, what the kidneys does, what the lungs do, what do the nephrons and all that, because something's gonna go wrong. So you have to know what's right before you understand what goes wrong. So you're going to be seeing why, what's going on, what's not right, what's abnormal, and what does it look like, and then what the medicine or the therapies do to fix that action, and what you as the nurse should recognize as signs of being normal and abnormal, what to do to save life or limb, and what to do to fix what's going wrong. So mid surge is knowing basic knowledge of what you know before with your prereqs, seeing that there's a problem, knowing that there's medication or therapy to fix it, what your role is as observing, so assessing, and what your role is as giving the medicine, because pharmacology don't go away. Med dosage doesn't go away. So if you have med dosage and you're like, okay, I just got to pass it this one time, no, it don't go away, because you're always going to have to give medicine, right? So knowing what you need to look for, knowing what you need to assess for, knowing what the patient should look like, should be exhibiting, and then knowing what to do to save life or limb. So you, that Maslow's and that ADPI that you learned in fundamentals is always going to follow you. You'll see everything is very cyclic in school. You'll see once you pick it up, then you'll see. um any recommendation and really recommendations to look up for med surge. So like I said, follow Kevin. He's an ICU nurse. Very good nurse, a very good instructor as well. So he breaks it down. He gets a little carried away in there, and I love it when he starts talking about it. Like we were on live the other night, and he was just talking about, what were we talking about? AFib with RVR or something else, and he was just gone, and I was like, ooh. So we was all in the zone. But he's good. Nexus nursing, she's good, of course. The OG goat, Nurse Sarah, Nurse Mike, um, doing a good anatomy and physiology study before you start mid surge. Don't have to retake a whole course, but just knowing. But like if you go into a cardiac unit, know the blood flow of the heart, know the structure of the heart, know what's going on about the SA nodes and the AV nodes. Okay, I may not be the best, but you'll understand something after leaving me. You too modest, Kevin. You too modest. Okay. Um, Also, what I do recommend, when I was in school, like I said, I knew the stuff, but not how to answer the questions. So if you get like a book, like a NCLEX book, like a Saunders comprehensive NCLEX book, what that does is it breaks it down every unit. And then once you get done with the units, they have questions in the back and their rationales. The rationales, like I said, the units are the juice in your dosage calculations. The rationales are the juice in this book. It's going to tell you why the answer is the answer. And so, therefore, you can learn how to critically think and see why that answer is that answer. Because, like I said, it's not enough to know. You got to have the know-how of how to answer these questions. You're like, well, the blood pressure is this. Then you have to critically think, like boom, 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 if that makes sense. So it helps you build your critical thinking muscle. Yeah. Yep. Off topic, but any tips for mother baby mental health? Mother baby, you got two patients. You got the mama and you got the baby. Okay. So once again, anatomy and physiology. Um, Who helped me the most during mother baby was Nurse Sarah. She got me through that because that was my Achilles heel. Both of those are my Achilles heel. Mental health and mother baby. But mental health, if you know your therapeutic communications and your medicines, you be Gucci. I mean, the medicines are really, really important because they can have some really, really serious side effects, life threatening side effects. So if you know your farm for mental health, your therapeutic communications, um, the differences between the diagnoses and what to look for. And like I said, during questions when you're in school, because you think that, okay, I'm just going to look at these PowerPoints, I'm just going to read. That's going to take away a lot of your time. You want to use your time doing practice questions, even with dosage calculations. I know I make it seem easy and it can even be fun, but you won't get it until you do practice questions. Okay. So just like with dosage, do those questions. Christmas just passed by. I know the child got some gift cards from Amazon or whatever. Go get that NCLEX book, okay? Because it really, really helped with me, like in my grades. I saw a good shift after getting that NCLEX book. NCLEX is all about critical thinking and safe nursing clinical judgment, right? Trying to see if you are a safe nurse. If your patient is bleeding out, what you gonna do? Call the doctor? No, you gotta do some action first. They love putting that on there. Call the provider. Call the provider, and they're gonna look at you like, well, what did you do? You look. I don't know how far or how deep you are into your program, but it's this thing called S-bar, right? So the situation, the background, the assessment, and R is recommendation. So, for people who think that, oh, nurses just are, task doers or they do what the doctors say do, why do you think R is in there? They want you to recommend what you think should happen, right? Well, they blood pressure is this, and I listened to them. I auscultated the lungs, and there were crackles, and they got pit in the demon in their bilateral lower extremities. I think they can use some Lasix. Their BUN and creatinine is within normal range because that Lasix is going to affect the kidneys, right? See, you see how that all works? It's all cyclic, right? All right, this was definitely my push to study before my semester. Oh man, take your break. You can't pour out of an empty cup. Look, I don't took my baby cup. It's empty. All right. You can't pour out of an empty cup. Definitely take your breaks during break and restore your body, restore your mind, restore your spirit. Okay, restore your pockets. You need to work a little bit extra. Whatever it takes. Take a break and then get back to it. Okay. Right, laces will also affect the potassium, which will affect the heart. So you got to look at all those labs. You got to look at that that BMP, that basic metabolic panel. So it's going to show you all of your electrolytes. Right, Kevin, thank you. So I was just saying the little that I said to make it kind of plain to you that nursing is very important. It's very autonomous. You have to stand on what you know and you have to be about what you know. So, like I said, you're not just a task doer just because it's ordered. You're like, well, I'm gonna go give it. No, you're gonna look and you're gonna check and see some stuff because guess what? That doctor, him or her, or whoever they refer to as their pronoun, they're gonna put their pants on one leg at a time. That means that they're human, right? And the pharmacists, they're human too, right? So it ticks me off when people say, "Oh, you could just use the computer, and the computer is gonna figure it out." Well, the computer is being ran by who? A human. Everybody can make mistakes. So before it gets to the patient, it's gonna be you giving it, and you gonna be in court, not them. So yeah, think of everything as connected, like a spider web. Absolutely. It's cyclic. Is there anything to use and study for the HESIs? I think they have a program called Excelvior. I don't know if I'm saying it right. They should have like dynamic quiz. Is that ATI? I think ATI has dynamic quizzes. But for HESI, they should have like quizzes that you can do and case studies that you can click through. They give you like a whole situation and ask you different questions. on what's going on with the patient. So definitely use the resources that you have paid for with your hard-earned tuition money, okay? All the RN HESIs and the exit ones. Okay. Yeah. We got the talking about nursing school. And yeah, alpha dosage calculations, but that's okay. That is totally okay. Anybody have any more questions? Y'all make sure to follow me on, you're welcome, on my socials. So if TikTok goes away, we don't get disconnected. I love when y'all come on here. I don't know how to make a clap on Restream. I'm gonna have to find a way, but we celebrate small victories, large victories, in between victories here, because you deserve it. You did that. You did that. Okay. To do Excelsior evolve. There's someone who created it. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to say. I don't know if I say it right. Excelsior. Yeah. Elsevier. We celebrate and we motivate. Exactly. Because y'all can do this. Okay. I don't know why, but I can't seem to get dimensional analysis help I'm used to desired over have. All right, so let me break it down what dimensional analysis is, okay? We're going to look at dimensional analysis like a puzzle. We're not going to be doing math, okay? We don't do math until the end anyway, and that's just multiplication and division. So with dimensional analysis, it uses the metric conversions or relationships of things, and you go from unit to unit and you cancel out your units until you get to the unit that the question is asking you. Okay, so with dimensional analysis and even with desired, you have to know your metric conversions. The way that we set it up is we start with what we're looking for. So we're putting together a puzzle. So when you got a puzzle, did we get a puzzle? I don't even think we got any puzzles for Christmas. These little spoiled children, they got everything but little basic stuff. God bless. Anywho, so the puzzle comes in a box, okay? Comes in a box. And there's a picture on the box, right? So that's what you want your puzzle to look like once you get done, right? So that's what we want our equation to look like. That's what the question is asking for. So that's what we want the equation to look like. So therefore, I always write my goal. That's first step. Step one. What is this asking me? Now, the puzzle pieces, those are your metric conversions or anything that is related in the problem. So you got milliliter per hour, milligrams per milliliter, microgram per kilogram per minute. Everything that is with something, it's going to be partnered together. So they're going to be stuck together. And that is one puzzle piece. Okay. We start making our puzzle or putting together our equation by using the goal, because that's the picture, right? So if my goal tells me, so just like this one that I have pulled up. Oh yeah. All right. I don't know where that came from. It's random. All right. So look. So this is the question, right? So my goal says that we want this on the top and we want this on the bottom. Okay. So that's how I'm going to set it up. So I know that what's ordered is this amount, 40 milligrams, and that's one dose. Okay. So 40 milligrams is one dose. One dose is 40 milligrams. Okay. They equal each other. That's one puzzle piece. Then I knew that we got through all of the fluff, because what did Nurse say about reconstitution? You concentrate on the concentration. Okay. So we got rid of the fluff, and the concentration was 125 milligrams per 2 milliliters. So those were my puzzle pieces. All right. So in order to start my puzzle piece, I always start with what it is that the goal tells me is on the top. That's what's going to be first, and that's what's going to be on the top. So this has milliliters in it. So that's what's going to be first. And I'm going to make sure that those milliliters are on the top. Because a puzzle piece in real life, you have to move it around and reposition it. It does not change the fact that that puzzle piece is that puzzle piece. That is the same notion that I want you to keep with these dimensional analysis problems, okay? I'm going to use this first, and I'm going to put this on the top and then my 125 milligrams on the bottom, because why? That's what the goal told me to do. And that's what you're trying to get towards, the goal, right? So now I've got this on the top, but I need this on the bottom. So this right here is on the bottom right now. I don't need that. It needs to cancel out. So everything that is not part of the goal has to be canceled out. So this right here has the same unit of measure. That's how you cancel two things out. They must be in the numerator and the denominator. So the top and the bottom. And that's how they get canceled. Okay. So then 40 milligrams will go over one dose. Okay. So you see how I keep everything together that's together. So now I have milliliter on the top and dose on the bottom. So the thing with dimensional analysis is canceling out the units until you have the goal. And now you can use the numbers, which is 2 and 40 and 125. It puts it in the position that mathematically it's going to produce your answer. So you don't have to worry about moving it to the left, moving it to the right, times this divided by that, this and that, third. No, you're doing one set of calculations at the end. So 2 times 40 divided by 125, and that's going to be 0.64. Okay, and that's how you do mainly all of those problems. It's a handful that you really can't use dimensional with because there are specific formulas. So that's like BSA, your Parkland formula, your fluid volume maintenance, and dilution, like tube feeding dilution or something like that. So, but the rest of them, you can use dimensional analysis for. So if there is a formula that you have to use that formula. But everything else is not. So let me show you like a microgram per kilogram per minute problem. Now, this is what sold me. Because like I said, I did not like this in school. I did not like it. Did not. Let's see. All right, don't look at the answer. That's a long one. What's that, rate based? That's not what I'm looking for. Let's do this one. All right. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Cheaters never win. All right. So what we have here is a client who weighs 112 pounds. They're getting IV infusion of drug K at 75 milliliters per hour. So the IV is infusing, it is going at 75 mLs per hour. Your drug K is in the concentration of 100 milligrams per 500 milliliters. We want to know how many micrograms per kilogram of body weight every minute that patient is receiving. Now, if you're not good at math, you will say, holy moly donut shop, right? I can't do that. But with puzzle pieces in the dimensional analysis, we can set this up very easily with minimal math skills. Okay, so first thing is first, what is the goal? The goal is micrograms per kilogram per minute. When you have a group of 3 like that, that first unit goes on the top, the other 2 go on the bottom. Sunshine, thank you, sugar. I see you, girl. You going ham in these comments. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good Christmas. I don't know how to adjust it. Hey, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so if you have a group of 3 units like that, that first one goes on the top and the other 2 go on the bottom. Okay, so now we need our other puzzle pieces. All right, so the pounds is by itself. Remember, if you were here earlier, I told you everything don't have to equal to something. 112 pounds does not equal one day. So don't put it with one day. It'll just go by itself because it's living single. All right, so then we have 75 mLs per hour. That's together, it stays together. And then we have a concentration of 100 mg per 500 ml. Okay, so those are all of our pieces. So what are we going to start with? The goal, I like using my little highlighter. The goal says we need microgram on the top, kg, and minute on the bottom. Okay, so do I have any micrograms to start with? Mm-mm. But I have milligrams. So I'm showing you, with knowing your conversions, you can automatically say, oh, I don't have micrograms, but I do know that 1,000 micrograms equals 1 milligram. So 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram. Boom. Now that I got milligram at the bottom, I can put this puzzle piece with my milligrams at the top so that it'll cancel out. So 100 milligrams over 500 ml. So milligrams crosses out. So boom, first goal is obtained. Now we've got milliliter at the bottom, right? So you see, I'm just going for what's at the bottom and seeing, is it in the goal? If it's not in the goal, it's got to be canceled out. So I need a puzzle piece to cancel it out. So I have my 75 milliliters per hour. So boom, that's gone now. All right, so now I have hours at the bottom. I need minutes. So I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Boom. Second goal is achieved, right? So now we got minutes at the bottom. I need kg. So we use this, we've used that. So now I need kgs at the bottom. I don't have kgs. I have pounds, but I know that 1 kg equals 2.2 pounds. So where am I going to put the kg? At the bottom, because the goal tells me that I need kg and minute on the bottom and microgram on the top. The other two puzzle pieces are in place. So I know I'm going to put my kilogram at the bottom. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. All right, so that's the third goal. But now I've got pounds. Pounds is not part of the goal, so it's got to cancel out. So I've got a puzzle piece with pounds in it. So therefore, I can put my pounds right here at the bottom. And I'll put the 1 on the top this time because it's still single, still by itself. But my goal tells me that I need those pounds at the bottom to cross out and cancel out. So now everything that is not a part of that goal has been canceled out. And now you can do the math. Yeah. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. These chickens is ashing, I'm lushing. Hey. All right. 1,000 micrograms, 100 milligrams times 75 times 2.2. And notice that when I'm doing my calculations, I keep all of it in the calculator. Because look, that's a big old number. Look at all those zeros. That's easy to lose track of, right? Writing it down and then having to put it back in the calculator and then writing it down and put it back in the calculator and calculating. No, just keep it all in the calculator. So what you do is multiply all your numbers across the top. Once you get to the end of the line at the top, hit divide and put in all your numbers in the bottom and you hit divide in between those numbers. So I already got to the end of the line, hit divide, 500, divide. 60. Look, it's getting smaller and smaller. Divide 112 equals 4.91 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Do you always introduce the weight at the end? Pearl, I go wherever the goal tells me to go. So I always start with that first unit that's on the top in my goal. So whatever comes next just comes next. So you see how I kept looking in the denominator at the bottom and seeing what unit was there. So my milligrams came up. I was like, that's not part of the goal. I need milligrams. So boom. Had my milligrams crossed out. Then I had milliliters. So that came next. So I crossed my milliliters out. Then I had hours, cross my hours out. So I had the minutes. And then the only thing that was left was the kgs. So do they necessarily have to go kg first, then minute? No, just as long as they're both on the bottom. Where did the 1000 come from over the 500? That's 100. It just kind of got bunched together. You talking about this right here? It's 100. So you can clearly see it. I rewrote it. Okay. Do you know how much dosage calc is on NCLEX? It's some on there, but not a whole bunch. It's not a whole bunch. Mm-mm. And the ones that I did have was like the most basic, rudimentary, easy peasy, lemon squeeze, and dosage calc ever. Yeah. So you see, you probably didn't know how to do this problem, but you just put together puzzle pieces and you got an answer without doing a lot of math. So that's why I really, really love dimensional. Is there a way to do it with a ratio and proportion? Yeah, it's long, but you can do it. And if anybody wants to watch the replay, I am streaming to my YouTube channel. My name on YouTube is A Blessed RN. This and other replays that I've done of my live sessions are there. Problems broken down like this are there. There's a whole playlist of desired over half. There's a whole playlist of ratio proportion. And of course, dimensional analysis is the most full one because that's the one that I really, really like. And I feel it's the best, the bestest. But hey, whichever way you get it, you get it. Okay. So, all right. So with ratio and proportion, ooh, Lord have mercy. You're going to have to see, let's see, if you have your 75 mLs an hour, we are going to be looking for how many micrograms that is. Well, you're going to have to find how many milligrams first because it's available in milligrams. So you see, I just took the rate from right here and we need to find X, which is going to give us milligrams. So, and this is the concentration of the medicine, okay? So what we're going to do is cross multiply. 500X equals 100 divided by, and I'm going to show you the math on here too. 15, right? Yeah, 15. So that's 15 milligrams. So because you see with an equal sign, you have to have both of your units in the same position because it has to be the same on both sides. So anybody that's looking, this is not dimensional, is ratio and proportion, okay? So now you would have to set your ratio up for milligrams. You need to know how many micrograms, right? So 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. So this is what's going to give you your micrograms. So X is going to be 15 times 1,000. So that's 15,000 micrograms. And you see, this is per hour. Okay, so now you have to divide that because you want per minute and per kilogram. So you have to divide that by 60 to get micrograms per minute. So times 1,000 divided by 60, and that's going to be 250 micrograms per minute. And then in order to get per kilogram, you're going to have to take your pounds and convert it. So 112 pounds divided by 2.2 equals 50.9. So you would divide this by 50.9 pounds. Well, sorry, kgs. I'm sorry, it's kgs. I misspoke. Don't get at me. Don't get at me, dog. Don't get at me. It's late. All right. And so then you see that we still got 4.91. So that is the way that you would do it with ratio and proportion. But if you're not mathing like that, then don't do it like that. We could just put together puzzle pieces. So y'all let me know which way that you like. The puzzle pieces, or do you like ratio and proportion? I said I was supposed to give y'all 10 minutes. See, y'all always get me on here and you hook, line, and sinker. You know I like doing this stuff. And you just keep on asking. And I just be like, well, this and this and this and this and that and the third. Woo child, that's long. Yeah, Shorty Spice. Yeah. And like I said, if you're not mathing like that, then um it's easy to get lost or to omit a step because you have to pay attention to the details, right? Because you need mics per kilogram per minute. So if you didn't pay attention that this was like per hour, then yeah, puzzle pieces are easier to understand. Okay, cool. It's long, but I feel it's easier to break down than dimensional. And Aaliyah, that's cool. You know, whatever way that you can get it, baby, and you stick with it. Do I suggest that people kind of switch in between methods? No. Whatever way that you like, stick with it and stick and do it, because you need to practice and you need to practice the same way so that you'll get used to seeing what the steps are. And if you do come across something that you miss out, or a step that you didn't recognize, you're like, oh, I remember I was supposed to do it like this and this. With dimensional analysis, I get confused because sometimes you have to use different units that aren't in the question. um I'm not sure if I understand that statement. What do you mean? God is good. Hallelujah. I love that. Yes. Hey, God is good. Let's see. But yes, you guys, I will definitely be back on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Turn on your notifications. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. If you have not, make sure that you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. If you have not, um, we don't know the fate of TikTok, so we don't need to get cut off because nurses are coming and they need to keep on coming, and we need to get past dosage calculations. Meaning like how you did the last problem. You had to use hour when they only asked for minutes by putting 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, let me read it again. Meaning like how you did the last problem. Okay. You had to use hour when they asked for minutes. Okay, so with dimensional, you still just use your 1 hour is 60-minute conversion. So just like you had to divide by 60, is still gonna set it up that you have to divide by 60. Because if the goal is microgram per kilogram per minute, we start with, well, let me start on this side. 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram. We have 100 milligrams is 500 milliliters. It's going at 75 mLs per hour. So we crossing out. Okay, so just like, okay, you got to the 1 hour part. So you know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then that 2.2 pounds is 1 kg. And then your weight was 112 pounds over 1. So everything, sorry, didn't mean to cross the kgs out. So used to crossing them out. They're supposed to stay. That was supposed to be crossed out. So it's just looking and paying attention to your units and knowing your conversions. So just like you had to know that 1 hour is 60 minutes, so you can divide in the ratio and proportion way, it's still going to put it whereas that 60 is on the bottom. So it's going to take care of it. So it just sets up all of your units or your numbers so that they're in place so that the math is going to math at the end. So like I said, it's like putting together a puzzle so that everything fits where it needs to and cancels out where it needs to, so that the numbers will be either in the numerator or in the denominator to be multiplied or divided. So you don't have to think mathematically, okay, well, if I do this in the ratio and then I have to divide this and then multiply this, because everybody isn't as inclined like you are, Leah. So that's the deal with dimensional. And I think when people try to math dimensional, that's when it gets kind of confusing, because it's set up that you don't really need math until the end. So you know your conversions, you know what you have, you know it's ordered, you know what the goal is asking you. So you just set it up and then you just multiply and divide at the end, and it's going to give you what you need. Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm for real this time. I gotta go to work tomorrow, and I'm still tired from Christmas from yesterday. But I will definitely be back on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. All of my resources and links are in my bio. I have a website. I do private tutoring. Um, I've had some sessions, so even though it's the holiday season, I still have sessions. I haven't added any more, but I will. So if it says I'm not tutoring for 6 months, that's not true. And if you do need a session, just send me a message or an email. Hold on, we still got responses. Do you get asked to use other methods than dimensional on exams? Some instructors only teach the way that they really know how to. It has been my experience that some of the people that I've studied with have instructors who teach very differently. And they just want you to show your work. So that is just kind of individualized per institution. So I don't want to say yes or no. Like, it varies. But um like, a lot of the people that have studied with me say that, the way that we do it with dimensional is different, because they'll use desired over half and moving a decimal and doing and all that stuff. I don't like too many steps. If you've noticed that, if you've been here with me, I don't like a lot of steps. The more steps you take, the more mistakes that you're able to make. It makes room for error and wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? With this one, it's pretty ironclad. It's, 1 hour is going to be 60 minutes. 1,000 microgram is going to be 1 milligram. It is what it is. So when you get to moving stuff, you might not move a decimal too many times, or you might add another zero. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to pre-convert. I don't like to do all that mathy math, except for when my equation is set, when that puzzle piece looks like the picture that's on the box. Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm gone for real now. Yeah, y'all have a blessed night, you guys. Try to enjoy the rest of your break. Pick up those metric conversions though, but enjoy your break. But not too much, but enjoy, balance. Balance is the word, okay? Balance. But study your metric conversions, learn them. And y'all have a great night. And I will see you on Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Make sure your notifications are on. Thank you. Bye. You're welcome, Gary. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome.